Hey y'all, it's Farley, the host of Writer's Edge Podcast, and on today's episode, we're going to have a conversation about how healthcare has finally caught up with the Jetsons. Let's have a conversation about how healthcare has finally caught up to the Jetsons. So, for those of you of a certain age, you will remember the Jetsons, and as I sit here and talk about them, you're probably hearing their theme song in your head. Isn't it crazy how people say those of a certain age, women of a certain age? So I just cliched, just like everybody else. So, if you are of a certain age, you will remember the Jetsons, and if you were younger than a certain age, you won't. So, I will catch you up a little bit. The Jetsons are family set in the future. They had cars that floated in space, and actually the year that they're set in is 2062, I believe, which is crazy that we can... that's still a ways off, but it's not that far off anymore. So anyway, the Jetsons have these cars that tootled around in space, made a little noise, had a little deal. You could beam somebody down out of them in a little bubble. Elroy's son usually got beamed down to school, so did Judy. And when George would get to work, he could fold it up in a briefcase, and he would take the... moving, it's not a treadmill, but they're in the airports now. I was just on them today. The moving, they're not the escalators, moving sidewalks, and to work and sit in front of a computer. And I'm still waiting on Rosie the robot housekeeper to show up at my house. I don't know about you. But what they did have that we do now have, besides the moving sidewalks, is FaceTime. It wasn't called FaceTime then, but they had screens where they talked to people and watches and different things. And George would be asleep at his desk, and his boss would show up on his computer and yell at him to come to his office. And they had all this screen time that we have now in the palm of our hand or on our Dick Tracy watch that we have on our wrist. And healthcare has come into the Jetson land because we have the ability to have medical appointments through FaceTime, through Zoom, through whatever program you use to have video chats. We have the ability to do that now, and it's often called telehealth. That's the medical term for it, is telehealth. I call it video consults. You'll see video consults, mobile consults, different things like that. But we can have a physical therapy session, a wellness consult through the screen. Just like if you're watching me on YouTube right now, you're seeing me. It's just like if you were FaceTiming your friend. So it is a great way to get in touch with a practitioner, especially if you're needing a specific problem worked on. If you're needing somebody who specializes in something such as here at Writer's Edge, we specialize in treating horses and riders, or a different niche. You can get a hold of specialists. RE Nation reaches all across the country, into Canada, and even around the world and into Europe. So it's a great way to be able to connect across anywhere. It has other advantages too. It is a good thing for people who don't have good access to care. It is a great tool for rural America to use. Essentially, if you were farming, you could talk to a practitioner while you're on your tractor. The downfall to rural America having access to it is good cellular coverage, good internet coverage, which is a problem in rural America that they are currently trying to address. But it is a great way to be able to see anybody. And telehealth is not just limited to physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, physicians, nurse practitioners. So essentially, if you have flu-like symptoms or a cold or something like that, you could hop on a telehealth call with a physician, talk through it, and be done and not have to go in the office. In physical therapy, we can hop on, have a wellness consult or even a physical therapy consult where we go through different things such as exercises, movement patterns, different postural or positional things, reviewing videos of your rides. The possibilities are endless, with the exception of we're missing the hands-on. So in the physical therapy realm, you're missing the manual treatments, you're missing dry needling, laser. I can't do that through the mobile devices yet. So some of the more complicated things we can't get done. We can get through exercises, we can go through different movements that can be done on the screen. But some of the more complex things, you're still gonna have to go see somebody. And that's the same thing if you saw a physician. There's only a kind of a lower level of comfort that they're going to see you for before they're going to say, hey, I need you to go in and have some lab work done. Hey, I need you to go in to have this test done, or you need to be seen for whatever reason. So there are a few drawbacks, but the pros outweigh the drawbacks because you can at least get started in your care, even if you have to go on into the healthcare system. Or you can get something taken care of real quick. I mean, gosh, for people on the road, horse trainers, riders, professional athletes, if it's something just quick and done and you get it done, it's great. That will be easier to do if you have an established relationship with that practitioner, whether it be a physician or a physical therapist or whoever, that they know you and can get that in and out, quick, done, specific problem taken care of. But the barrier to entry is continuing to lower all the time. Now, telehealth visits are sometimes they're covered by your copay, depending upon your insurance, and sometimes they are a cash-based fee. But you know that up front, and you get that taken care of, and then go from there. If it is a visit with a physician, and you guys get through the visit, often they call in your medicine and you're done. You don't ever have to go to the doctor's office, wait in line, get coughed on, sneezed on, all that icky stuff. Here at Writer's Edge, we use it a variety of ways. We use it as that is how we do all of our communication. We use it as a blend of doing hands-on treatments and doing telehealth treatments, depending upon where you are and what's going on with your situation, trying to achieve your goals. So it's a great tool to have in your arsenal and use, and I don't think it is as well advertised as it should be. We talk a lot about it in the medical field because it is emerging and new and exciting, and we're being able to use it in different ways and have other advantages that we haven't had, because we can also do consults where you are with a physical therapist, your local physical therapist in their office, and we're doing a telehealth consult where I come in and we're working through your specific problem, and I can bridge the gap between your local PT who may not know that much about riding or the specific issue, and I can bridge the gap between medical speak and horse speak, and we can get you a lot further down the road. That happens often in rural healthcare. For example, in Arkansas is a state that has one of the highest rates of stroke in the country, and it's a pretty rural state, and so they've implemented a stroke protocol, a stroke program, as we all know. And if you don't know, here's your lesson today. If you suspect someone has had a stroke, the faster you get them medical attention, the more chances they have of having less side effects, we're mitigating the symptoms, we're mitigating the effects of the stroke. We are decreasing the potential for issues. Now, we don't have somebody who specializes in that at every Mayberry hospital in the state. And so what Arkansas has done is put in a telehealth program in those ERs. So your job is to get your loved one, your person, to the ER as fast as possible. And when they suspect that and they do the workup, they will call in to a specialist who's typically at a bigger system, typically in a bigger town, and they get on the computer screen and do the workup together. The specialist goes through what they need done, and the doctor or the nurse or whoever else on the team is in there are the hands for the doctor. If you watch Big Bang, it is very much like when Sheldon holed up in his room and created a virtual computer Sheldon. And it's very much like that. So that is dramatically changing the ability to reach high-level healthcare and saving lives and improving health across the state. So it's real, it's here, it's changing how we have access to different things, and can definitely be a benefit for Writer's Edge Nation, whether it's doing physical therapy through telehealth or seeing a doctor. We are all very independent, hard-headed folk, yours truly included in the hard-headedness, or as my friend likes to say, determined. We're not hard-headed, we're very determined. Either way you put it, it's a great way to get access to healthcare, to get some minor things taken care of, or to advance your plan of care, your episode of care towards your goals. So, if you have any questions about telehealth and how it can be helpful to you or a family member, feel free to message me and I will be happy to help. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Writer's Edge podcast. And as always, I will see you down the road. Thank you for listening to the Writer's Edge podcast today. We appreciate your time and attention. Thank you for always helping us move forward and appreciating a good conversation. Help us keep the conversation going by checking out our social media channels, including Facebook at Writer's Edge Therapy and Wellness, Instagram at Writer's Edge Therapy, and our website, www.writersedgetherapy.com. It is there that you can also book a consult for either you or your horse. Thanks, and we'll see you down the road.